call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Piper.
Here.
Mr. Pena.
Here.
Mr. Thackeray.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Here.
Mr. Paul.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Fields.
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing on our agenda, or next thing on our agenda is approval of minutes from Urbana City Council regular session of February 7th, 2017. Council?
Move to approve minutes.
Are there any additions or corrections to that set of minutes? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of accepting that regular session minutes from February 7th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Communications, Madam Clerk.
Number 1, invitation from Daughters of the American Revolution celebrating a community service award ceremony, emailed February 6, 2017. Number 2, Champaign Countywide Public Safety Communications Center financial report for 2016, emailed February 6, 2017. Number 3, Board of Zoning Appeals meeting minutes of January 9th, 2017, emailed February 15th, 2017. Number 4, Oakdale Cemetery Board meeting minutes of January 19, 2017, in addition to Oakdale Cemetery Board bylaws, emailed February 17th, 2017.
Okay, council, speak to these. We need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments on any of these 4 communications? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the 4 sets of communications signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll take them all. Administrative report. Board of Control, please.
Number 1, the Board of Control recommends Council authorize the Director of Administration to enter into a contract in the amount of $1,338,250.98, base bid acceptance of alternative number 1 with J&J Schlegel Incorporated for the US 36 improvements ODOT PID number 96836 per the recommendation of Tyler Bumbalow, City Engineer. A total of 3 bids were received, and this bid was the lowest and best bid received. See attached bid tabulation. This project is in the 2017 budget and will be funded with Transportation Alternatives Program grant from ODOT, a grant from the Ohio Public Works Commission, local funds, Urbana Township funds through a cooperative agreement, and state funding through ODOT. Vote 2-0.
Explain it, see if you want to accept it.
This has been a long time coming. You remember this project was originally supposed to be constructed in 16, but we were a year behind. Our environmental review got pushed back because we had to acquire additional property. So anyway, here we are. We've accepted bids. We had more plan holders take out plans, but we did only receive 3 bids back, 2 that were below the estimate. Or within 10% of the estimate. I think this was the only one that was below the estimate. That being said, you can see there are multiple funding sources. We have a Transportation Alternatives grant through ODOT. Ohio Public Works Commission is a grant that we received by applying to Urbana Township. If you remember, there are a few properties out there that are still within the township and not within the city corporation. So there's actually a cooperative agreement in place with the city and the township for those properties so that we don't just build a project and leave those parcels out, which was an option, but we worked together so we could have one contiguous project. So Transportation Alternatives, Ohio Public Works, again, Urbana Township's providing some funding. Being that they're a township, the state's kicking in their local share as far as their local share is for stormwater, and then on the ODOT portion, the Transportation Alternatives portion, which you can think of as sidewalks essentially, and the street lighting and that type of thing. ODOT, the federal's 80, and then ODOT's providing state funds at 20%. So anyway, multiple funding sources. Construction could start as early as March. The contractor is asking to start in March, but the question is going to be how that lines up with proper public notice and things that we have to provide. So there is actually going to be a detour route for through traffic. Business traffic will be maintained as far as being able to get to businesses, but we want to keep a lot of the background traffic off that area, especially as the stormwater project is going on. There's going to be a lot of cuts in the road and things running stormwater lines. So stay tuned for more details around that as the project, we'll be getting that information out and determining those timelines. But it's fair to say this project will start early this spring. And then when it's completed to a point that it can be resurfaced, you have a resolution tonight that's separate from this that relates to the resurfacing, and I can speak to that later.
Okay, council, if you're so inclined, need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, questions? Who wants to start? Start with,
I'll start.
you start.
Awesome. So out of the 1.3, Doug, what's our own percentage, or what's our own amount that we're kicking into this?
Too complicated for that. It's gonna, I mean, basically, there's gonna be a spreadsheet to track every dollar. I think we did the PO, and I think there are 7 lines on the PO as far as to keep track of where all the money's coming from. There's even a little bit of water and sewer in there, like moving hydrants and things like that, so.
So how do we tell people how much we're kicking in for this?
Okay,
I know that's kind of the same question I just asked, only a little different way.
yeah, it's within our budget amount. We had 2 budget amounts in the 401 account this year, one that was focused on stormwater, one that was focused on the transportation alternatives project. Because you really have to think of it, even though it's being bid and constructed as one project, you essentially have 2 major components. You've got the storm, which is largely funded with Ohio Public Works Commission grant, and then you've got the transportation alternatives, which is largely funded through ODOT.
Okay.
The transportation alternatives, our local share, we have $170,000 in the budget, the capital
Okay.
budget for that alone. As for the storm sewer improvements, we've budgeted $65,000
Okay.
as our local share.
Okay. So roughly 235, give or take.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll come in under budget, so.
Yeah, and the first work you're gonna see is stormwater work. So when that detour is in place to get the traffic that's coming through the city, around the city, that's gonna be because of the stormwater.
So once this is approved tonight, assuming it gets approved, then you said that Schlegel wants to start next month, basically next month.
They've indicated
It's
that they
March.
wanted to start in March, so
Okay.
the question, we've gotta have a pre-con, we've gotta get ODOT sign off on this bid, and so there's a lot of things that have to happen. But we actually have to have the project awarded by March 9th, so it's just gonna be, I would say we'll probably definitely have it awarded by March 9th, meaning a contract signed, but the question's gonna come down to how fast all the other things that have to take place have to happen.
Okay, and all the other.
Because we have to have advance notice on the detour. and
Right.
We wanna get information out to businesses in the area, things like
Okay.
that, so.
Good, all right, thank you, I appreciate that.
Mr. Scott,
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Thacker,
My question was answered, thank you.
Mr. Beanie.
I have no questions, thanks,
Nothing, thank you. Mr. Fields?
Nothing.
No, thank you.
Nothing? Okay. There's no further questions. I have one. You have lowest and best. What makes it the best?
That it's the lowest.
It's generally the lowest, yeah. We did accept, you did note that, we did accept an alternate on this, the stormwater pipe. There's an option to use reinforced concrete pipe, or we could use a certain type of plastic pipe. I can't remember the specific plastic, but nevertheless, we had an alternate on this. The plastic is about $20,000 cheaper, and it's a proven pipe that's out there in the industry, so we opted to, or Tyler opted, you've got a letter in there to that effect, accepting that. But that will be the first time that we've used this plastic pipe, but I guess the county engineer's been using it and had great success with it so far with their installations. It is an ODOT spec, so that'll save us a little bit of money on the stormwater side.
All right. Well, if there's no further questions, all those in favor of accepting the Board Control's recommendation authorize the Director of Administration to enter into a contract in the amount of $1,338,250.98 with J&J Slagle. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? guess we're in the street business. Next one, please.
The Board of Control and Health Insurance Committee recommends council to authorize the purchase of medical mutual group health insurance and related life, vision, VSP, and Delta Dental insurances for $1,312,162. The insurance expense is in the 2017 budget. See attached, vote 2-0.
Chris, is this you?
Yes. This is our annual renewal for employee health insurance, vision and dental. In working with our broker, USI, this was the best option we had available. This is a straight renewal, which means it's our current policy, just extended one more year. There was an increase. I budgeted a 10% increase, and we were able to meet that requirement. So the Health Insurance Committee feels good moving forward. We did have a change in the tier structure that we offer the employees. Currently, we offer a single plan or a family plan. With this renewal on March 1, we'll be able to offer 4 tiers, which will be employee only, employee spouse, employee child, and family. So,
Okay, council, speak to this, we need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Scott, questions?
Sounds straightforward. No questions.
Mr. Thacker?
I'm glad it stayed within your 10%.
I'm sorry,
I'm glad it stayed within your 10% of increase.
I am too. It could have been a lot worse.
Mr. Pena?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Piper?
No, thank you, thank you.
Fields?
Where do I sign?
I'm sorry.
We're not allowed. No.
No, thank you.
You could pass that law if you want. Mr. Paul?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
How many people do we insure under this?
Just under 100. We're looking at about 85 to 90.
7 or 8.
Is there an opt-out if they have,
We do offer an opt-out if they have coverage available with their spouse, and their spouse's employer. It's a $2,000 opt-out that we offer.
do we have any?
Yeah, I have probably about 6 or 7 that
Really?
opt out.
Okay, good. No further questions, council? All those in favor accepting the board control's recommendation to authorize the purchase order to Medical Mutual Health in the amount of $1,312,162. Well, I just love spending millions of dollars. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I remember we got excited when it was 600,000.
That's been quite a while. Going back in mid-90s.
Yep. Before that, okay. Number 3, please.
The Board of Control recommends council increase purchase order number 23071 to Cherokee Run landfill by $4,346.44. Board of Control approved purchase order number 23071 for $5,000 on December 28, 2016 as a 2017 blanket purchase order for sludge hauling. The additional amount will be charged to sewer fund and is in the 2017 budget. Vote 2-0.
Where Chad's not here.
I can try to answer,
Okay.
explain what's
Explain
happening.
it, all right.
Initially, we had the blanket purchase order for 5,000. We thought that was gonna cover him for the year. As you know, Chad has had some hits with the sludge at the wastewater plant where he can't land apply. So this was the bulk of the sludge that had to go to the landfill. We anticipate everything's been corrected. This should be a one and done with Cherokee for this year, and we should not have to come back.
Council, need a motion to speak to this one?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Thacker, questions?
I have no questions.
Mr. Pena?
You said, what was the hit that he took there? I remember he said something.
I believe he had some metal in the sludge.
Yeah, they had metals in the sludge, which made it illegal to land apply, so they take it to the landfill.
Do you know where we got the metal? Got the common?
Plant had to discharge some metals.
Mr. Piper? Mr. Fields?
We don't know who, does he have an idea where the hit came from?
I believe Chad Chad has all that information.
Okay,
And he's working through that process.
okay. So maybe we can go back and regroup from then.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Hoffman?
No questions.
Mr. Paul?
Nope.
Mr. Scott?
I see there was another purchase order for, RG Trucking to, haul this stuff. We don't haul it ourselves? Or this was too much for us to handle, or do we know? Or is this a Chad question?
It's my understanding we do employ RG Trucking to do the hauling to the landfill in Cherokee. I don't know how that has to be hauled, if they have to have a specific container or under wraps.
Regulations about it.
to
Believe
get
it
it
have to be containerized, we don't haul,
Right.
we don't have containers. They provide the container, haul them up to the landfill, and bury them.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, council? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the board control's recommendation to increase a purchase order 23071 to Cherokee Run by $4,346.44, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. We have 3 citizens here. You want to rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first? Ben, how are you?
Okay, a little cold today.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's all Ben has to share with us.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our staff newspaper writer, saw he's up for an award. More, anything? Looking for anything, okay. We'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. No third readings this evening. Our second reading.
Mr. President, can we count this as being read since we did our public? I'll ask the law director, are you allowed to count that as a reading?
She has to say it,
Okay.
but other than that. Ordinance number 4468-17, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Urbana, Ohio by rezoning multiple parcels from a combination of R2 medium density residential and M1 manufacturing to M1 manufacturing as requested by city staff for properties owned by Ultramet Manufacturing Company and 720 North Main LLC. Requires 3 readings.
Mr. Pena, any questions or comments?
No, I think Doug explained it pretty well to us. Thanks.
Mr. Piper?
Nothing
Fields?
else.
Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Paul?
Just like to commend our clerk on a fine job reading the description.
You're very welcome.
I think we've got the gist of it.
Mr. Thacker?
We got it covered.
Ordinance number
That's what I would-
4468-17 has had a second reading. Down to 1. Okay.
What's parcels worth?
Is that a -1? Oh, okay. First readings, please.
Resolution number 2500-17, a resolution to authorize the Ohio Department of Transportation to proceed with the resurfacing of the existing State Route 29 and United States Route 36, lying within the city of Urbana, PID number 92625, and to authorize the Director of Finance to appropriate $123,806 towards said project, and the Director of Administration to sign any contracts or other documents related to said project, and declaring an emergency. Rule suspension requested.
All right, council would have passed preliminary legislation for this project a few years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head what year, but that being said, this would resurface 36 when all of the improvements are essentially to the point where it's safe to spend the money to pave a road. So there's actually 2 completion dates in the 36 project. There's an interim completion date to allow ODOT to come in and pave. That may mean there's still seeding or cleanup work to do along the edges, but the idea is anything that's being dug up will be done so that the paving can be done late summer, early fall type timeline. Also, we, if you remember, we combined this paving project with the repaving of 29 from the split out to the Eastern Corporation limit just past Eastview. So we'll actually see both of those roads get paved through this legislation. Of course, this is an 80-20, so the 123,806 is our 20%. It's over a $600,000 project by itself without the federal funds through ODOT. So we pay our 20%. They'll actually manage that part of the project, and Tyler will stay in touch with them as far as scheduling and getting the contractor in to do the paving. So this has not gone to bid yet. ODOT's usually pretty conservative about the number that they ask us for as far as the money they ask us for, and generally we do get some money back when the project's closed out. I think the last 5 projects we've gotten some money back. And I think this number was actually below what we had estimated as far as our 20%. So late summer, early fall paving for those 2 roads.
Okay, council, we have a request to suspend the rules on this one.
I'll move that we suspend the three reading rules of resolution 2500-17.
I'll second.
Roll call on suspension, please.
Mr. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Thackeray?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
I will clarify, the reason for the rule suspension is we just got this right before, a week or so before the council packet was put together. And it has to be back to ODOT by March 15th, including a check for $123,806. So that's why there is a rule suspension requested to allow us the time to get everything back to District 7 so that they can get this project out for bid. So they need our money in hand to do so.
Okay, council, need a motion to put this on the floor for possible passage.
I'll move that we place resolution number 2500-17 on the floor for further discussion and possible passage.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Pena.
No questions.
Mr. Piper.
No question.
Mr. Fields.
But we send them, we won't have to pay anymore.
Historically, that's been the case, correct?
I mean, since they haven't sent it out to bid yet.
Right. I think they do their estimating on these projects based on previous costs they've had on similar projects. So, like I said, I think usually we get $10,000, $15,000 back, $12,000. It's been all over the board, but generally we get money back.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hoffman.
No, sir.
Mr. Paul.
Was this wasn't in our budget for this year, was it?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
okay, usually the language is in the resolution, so, okay, that's fine. That's the important thing, I just wanted to make sure that was in there. I thought it was, but,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we budgeted $146,000.
okay, great.
And we didn't do it as a board of control item because the resolution as passed has everything in it it needs as far as being able to have Kerry sign a contract with ODOT for it, cutting a check, all of that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mr. Scott.
No questions, thank you.
So the 123 helps the budget, if we budgeted 146.
Correct.
Great.
So that 123 is added to that 325. What'd you have come up with, Mr. Paul? For the other projects?
336.
335? Which one?
235.
Oh, yes.
235, so that's
It's like
on top of that.
Yes, it's a big year out in that area because we're also resurfacing Community Drive. So, yes, it will be a very impactful year on that end of town. You haven't approved that yet, but it's out for bid now.
Any other comments or questions, council? Roll call on the passage of resolution 2500-17, please.
Mr. Piper?
Yes.
Mr. Pena?
Yes.
Mr. Thackeray?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Sounds like it passes unanimously. You guys spend a lot of money on it, right? Silly money, right? Comes our last ordinance and resolution, move into miscellaneous business. Fields, miscellaneous business.
Nothing.
Mr. Hoffman.
I'm glad we're spending money on infrastructure. That's all I've got.
Mr. Paul.
How's our salt supply? No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything for this evening.
Mr. Scott.
Nothing, thank you.
No vacation pictures. Mr. Thackeray.
I'm good.
Mr. Pena. You don't have any pictures.
Is the compost open?
Compost facility is open this week, gonna open Saturday 9 to 1. We're gonna kind of call a week at a time, as the weather holds, so they're in business.
All right.
Mr. Piper?
I really had nothing, but, this evening, about 20 after 3, somebody lives in Fort Worth over my driveway, said some kids threw a toilet off the Wind Street overpass. So I thought it was in the middle of the street, so it was about time for the city crew to punch out, so I pulled in there and got a whole call and told him, he got these trucks, and we both drove down there, and they dropped it on the sidewalk part, but a lot of it went out into the street. So we cleaned it up, shoved it all back, and he said he'll send somebody down there tomorrow to finish cleaning it up. And you talk about the salt supply, it's in good shape.
Hopefully it's in good shape.
Then you had to find room to get 200 and some thousand ton.
I'm sorry?
Gotta make room, because you guys got some more salt coming.
I think there's about 400 tons roughly that we have to take on the contract. So
Trying to figure out a way to.
we'll shove it in there, then we have to adjust our orders next year.
Where's he gonna put it?
That's all I
Settle.
25 gallon
Good
buckets.
problem to have.
I have one thing. On the stormwater utility, there will be information in the March utility bill. We put together some real basic information that's on one side of the sheet, and then the other side is our yearly stormwater education piece that we have in with the utility bill. So we did get that done, and it will be in the March utility bill. So just wanted to.
The first billing isn't until April, correct?
Yeah, it actually will hit the bill in April.
Okay.
So we're just trying to have some information out there the month before.
Right.
Are you going to also include all the stormwater stuff that's going on these projects and that?
It's what we put together is not really project specific as much as, you know, it did mention about, that 70% of the money goes towards capital projects and less on the operational side. So that is highlighted, but we didn't necessarily get into specific projects, but that will be important to continue to reinforce that there are stormwater projects that will be going on, and those dollars will be coming from that fund.
Thank you.
Law?
Wanted to congratulate Sergeant Kaiser and also let some other officers who are experiencing some family injuries and illnesses know that my prayers are with them, and that's all I have.
Finance? Administration? Just a couple, just to pick up on comment Doug made, we're going to be going out for bids for our street paving projects later on here before long. And to point, this summer's gonna be a lot of activity out, 36, 29, Community Drive, but a lot of that work's been planned and anticipated for a number of years, so it's gonna be a lot of activity. So as we move forward, I think it's important to keep everybody reminded of the end result and understand that there's gonna be some challenges day to day. Also, I think next Friday, Memorial Health's gonna do their groundbreaking, so there's another project that's gonna be starting out in that area. So, you know, there's just gonna be a lot of activity happening here in this town over the next few months. And it's just, again, I think that shows that there's a lot of people have a lot of confidence in what the city can provide, so I think that's a good thing. So,
They're already doing groundwork out there for the ODOT, off the building they're doing out there on 55.
on Damewood, the
Yeah,
Damewood and
they're
Navistar,
really moving on
that'll be
that.
happening in the next few weeks also, hopefully.
Yeah, they're already doing stuff, house is going, so.
Yep. That's all I had.
Mayor. I've received a memo from Lynn Mitchell, and I want to let you know that the Jerusalem Second Baptist Church is having their 171st anniversary, and they asked me to do a letter of recognition for them, and I just wanted to read it. Mayor letter of recognition noting the significance of your 171st anniversary, Jerusalem Second Baptist Church. Let it be known that in 1846, the Jerusalem Second Baptist Church was formed in Urbana, Ohio, and let let it be known that staying true to their mission of service, they continue to welcome and minister to all those who pass through their doors. And let it be known that as the Jerusalem Second Baptist Church works to form new and better avenues to reach those in need, they do not lose sight of their devoted flock, embracing tradition, emphasizing the importance of consistency in teaching. And therefore, it is with great respect and gratitude that the city of Urbana pays tribute to this day the devoted staff and parishioners of the Jerusalem Second Baptist Church as they celebrate 171 years of service. So that is a long time being here in Urbana. So I really congratulate them for their service and to their parishioners and to the city of Urbana. So, and they are having services at 11 o'clock on Sunday, and everybody's welcome to attend and be a dinner afterwards. So, the only other thing I have, and I don't know whether it was mentioned at our last council meeting, but I just want to congratulate Lydia Hess for taking over the directorship of the Chamber of Urbana, and I look forward to working with her and hope great things out of her too. So that's all I have.
Any forecast on the next snow?
There isn't any.
Okay, great. Mr. Fields?
Do you have anything?
Nothing.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjourning this evening signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Evans, you're late.
Just adjourn.
I beg your pardon, what time did you start now?
6 o'clock.
You're kidding. When did that start? I asked.
Almost a year now.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I guess I can't be a council